It's time for NEC On The Run Women's Basketball Edition. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ralph Ventre, and I'm ready for the stretch run of the NEC Women's Hoop season. Only 4 games to go. Let's take a look at where we stand. Sacred Heart and Robert Morris both went 2-0 last week. They remain tied atop the conference standings. The defending champion Colonials split each of their first 3 conference weekends, but haven't lost since. Bryant and Fairleigh Dickinson also went 2-0 last week. Bulldogs are making a play to host a quarterfinal tournament game. Meanwhile, Fairleigh inched closer to securing its postseason berth. You may have noticed that St. Francis U is no longer tied atop the NEC standings, and that's because Wagner knocked the Red Flash down on Monday night. The Seahawks' road win at SFU moved Heather Jacobs' team within 1 game of a playoff spot with 4 games remaining. Remember, folks, we have the race to 1, to 4, and to 8, and only 4 more games to decide it all. Now it's time for She Gets Buckets. Sacred Heart sophomore forward Catherine Haynes missed the entire 2015-16 season due to injury. But she's healthy this year, and she's proving it on the floor. Catherine Haynes was getting buckets last week. 22 points in a win over CCSU, 17 points in a win over St. Francis Brooklyn. And mind you, back on February 6th, 3 games ago, Haynes dropped 22 on FDU. She's averaging 15 points per game in conference play, and overall, Haynes leads the NEC in field goal percentage at .528. Catherine Haynes, she gets buckets. And now we take a Twitter timeout, extending this 30 into a full. This week's tweet comes from Mr. Stocky out at WTAE in Western Pennsylvania. He points out that Robert Morris is on a roll, and that they are. 8 wins in a row. That's the program's 6th longest win streak ever. The Colonials moved to 11-3 in conference play on Monday night by beating what was the 2nd hottest team in the NEC. Colonials have won 8 in a row. Mount St. Mary's had won 4 straight until Robert Morris knocked them off this last time out. The defending champions have been on a roll since mid-January. We'll see if they can keep it up down the stretch. So what's that? That's amazing. Bryant point guard Kiara Palmer became the first NEC player this season to go over the 100 assist mark. She did it last week. 16 assists in 2 games, including 11 helpers in Monday night's win over LIU Brooklyn. Palmer is leading the conference this season in assists per game. That shouldn't come as a surprise because of what she did as a rookie. Kiara Palmer had the most assists in the NEC last season, and she has the most assists in the NEC again this season. And stats amazing. So another 10 games for you to focus on this week. NEC Front Row will carry all 10 games live. On Saturday, you may want to catch the Wagner St. Francis Brooklyn game. The result of that one could go a long way in determining who gets the 8th and final NEC tournament berth. Then there's our President's Day special on Monday, a full slate Games starting in the afternoon, and then it ends with our featured doubleheader on ESPN3 in the evening. Game at 6 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. It's our double dip on ESPN3. Both games can also be seen live at NECFrontRow.com. I'm Ralph Ventre. That'll do it for this week of NEC On The Run. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.